What's going on, guys? It's Seth back with another Defense Wins Fantasy, and this one is the draft edition. Post-draft, following up with some of the guys that we've talked about. Some of the guys feel a little bit better about it. Some guys kick them to the curb before your rookie drafts start. So we're going to go with my 5 players I'm buying after we see their landing spot, draft capital, all that. And we'll go with the 5 players that I'm selling. A little bit of a shock on maybe 1 or 2 of these for you, but we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. Number 1 is Will Anderson. I mean, as I've said through this whole process, this kid's polished. They know what they're getting out of him. He's a heck of a pass rusher, and they took him 3 overall. He went to the Houston Texans. They've got a defensive head coach, and he's just an absolute stud player that has a plethora of pass rush moves. He's going to be destructive there. But more importantly, maybe most importantly, he's got a rookie quarterback on the other side of the ball from him. And that's going to field a little bit more defensive chances for this team, at least as a rookie year. But on top of that, he went to the AFC South. In the AFC South, drafted not 1, not 2, but 3 rookie quarterbacks. This division could be running with Will Levis and Anthony Richardson for the next couple years at least. And I don't care. You get young guys behind the center, and they're going to take a little bit longer to make decisions, and that's going to get Will Anderson opportunities to get sacks. Heck, Richardson will probably just run right into Anderson at least once or twice this season, giving him a sack. So now, though, I want to dive a little bit deeper into the statistical aspects of Will Anderson's draft capital. Where he was drafted at, there's a 32% chance that he finishes as a top 6 defensive end based upon just his draft capital in his rookie year. And there's a 71% chance that he's at worst a defensive end 3 for your fantasy team. On top of that, rookie defensive ends that finish in the top 24 as a rookie, so if he's one of the top 24 players as a defensive end as a rookie, which, based on his statistical nature of the last 10 years, he has a 54% chance of finishing as a top 24 D end. Those players have an average between 4 to 5 seasons of ending the year as a top 24 player. So you have a 50% chance that you hit on a top tier defensive end when you draft Will Anderson in this year. And honestly, based on the ability that I've seen, based on the polish, and based on the landing spot where he's going to be on the field immediately, the statistical nature of this is going to lie in his favor. Now, the data that I'm talking about, this is based on an article written by David Kelly over at IDP. Guys, I covered this article more in depth before the draft, and I wanted to make sure that we talked about it with the landing spots because it matters. It's shown that's over the last 10 years. It's statistically relevant to at least think about it when you're looking at players for your fantasy team. And honestly, Will Anderson checks a whole lot of the boxes. That 32% chance that he finishes in the top 6 is where I'm leaning with this guy coming into this year. So the next guy that we're going to talk about is the second guy on my list of people that I'm buying, and that is Jalen Carter, who was drafted number 9 to the Philadelphia Eagles. I talked about it on my Ideal Spot podcast. He went to the spot that I thought he should go to, that I thought he would be the best at. He's got a veteran front 7 and basically all of his teammates from Georgia. It's just ridiculous how many Georgia guys they've been drafting. But they know how to play together. They know the tendencies. It's only going to help them. He went with high draft capital, number 9th pick, which gives him a 74% chance of finishing as a top 24 defensive tackle in fantasy. Also has a 37% chance of being top 6 defensive tackle in his position as a rookie. So once again, same kind of data that we're looking at with Will Anderson. This puts him in a great path to having between 5 and 6 NFL seasons finishing as a top 24 player for his career. So if you're going into this draft and you're needing some defensive players, you're needing an edge rusher, you're needing a D tackle, you take one of these guys and you can basically check the box for 5 years. Obviously, they might not be consistent in a row, but the point stands is that you're going to have somebody that's going to have value for a long period of time. Longer than some running backs do. On top of that, big playability, yes, sir. And he'll be in a rotation that'll allow him to stay fresh and rush the passer. Granted, being in a rotation, I'm not going to lie, it is going to hurt the point of getting points due to pure volume. But it's a good trade-off with the amount of pass rushing, ability this guy has as a D tackle. The team has a good offense, so there'll be pass rush attempts to be had late in games. And as a rookie, they'll probably put him in there a little bit more often to keep, get him wet behind the ears. But again, what if I told you that you draft a guy at D tackle and you don't have to worry about the position for like 4 to 5 years? I know what you're saying. Well, he's got a lot of red flags. He does. But he also has ridiculously great tape. And you know who else had some red flags? Laramie Tunsil. And he just got paid yet again for probably being the best left tackle in the game. He fell in the draft because of some stuff. The fact of the matter is, take the risk on a defensive player like this, and you're going to have top-end talent on your defense for fantasy. Now, number 3 on my list is a guy that I'm so happy for, and that is Jack Campbell, who went number 18 to the Detroit Lions. Now, Dan Campbell, self-proclaimed tough guy, basically drafted his illegitimate son. I don't know, just last name, just saying. But they drafted a linebacker that decides that he's going to chew nails instead of brushing his teeth. That's kind of tough guy Jack Campbell is. Dude's a beast. Massive mountain of a man. He's just a monster. I've talked about all of his combine workouts, all of his tape. He can blitz the passer. He can coverage. He can do it all. And he's going to be on the field day one for this defense, and he's going to epitomize what Dan Campbell is as a head coach and bring it to this defense, and it's going to be just fun to watch. Now let's get a little nerdy. Let's go with the hit rate odds. 29% chance that he finishes as a top 6 linebacker this year. 76% chance that he finishes as a linebacker 2. And almost a certainty, 86% chance that he's an LB3. Basically, those stats are guys that got hurt, If he stays healthy, he's going to be a startable asset to your team. This guy will add value to your team. Point blank, period. And again, how's it project for his overall career? If he has a rookie year in the top 24, which he has a 76% chance of doing so, that puts him in line for a 4-year run as a top 24-point production player in the NFL. Of course, the average is based upon 10 years of data. But I'm a data nerd. I do that for my real job. And Jack Campbell can give this nerd a swirly as long as he's putting up top 10 linebacker numbers on the field. I don't care. Let's go. Draft Jack Campbell. Just do it. Fourth on my buyer list is Will McDonald. Picked 15th to the New York Jets. Here's the thing. McDonald really fits Saleh's wide nine scheme, like to a T. He's going to get him in situations that he is rushing the passer in the best way possible. He is a bit undersized, but he's a monster coming off the edge. They're going to put him in great situations. The nice thing also about Will McDonald is that as far as IDP rookie drafts go, he's probably going to be a bit of a steal. I think that people are going to feel that he's going to have a lack of playing time with that Jets defense due to them having Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson. But Lawson hasn't looked the same since his injury. Jermaine Johnson came along slowly last year. I still think that they're going to be good, but I would say that McDonald is the one to Jermaine and Carl's 2 and 3 as far as rotational go. This draft capital fits the same scheme and same data points that Will Anderson's did. So there's a 71% chance that at worst he's a DN3. And the Jets wanted this guy. I think it's just a great, great fit. I feel confident that he's going to produce. And so that's as far as the guys. I know there's other guys that were taken in between. I like the fit. I like the scheme. I like where he's going to be. And I also like the fact that you're probably going to get him at a little bit of a discount because people don't understand how well he fits the Jets defense. So the fifth player that I'm going to talk about for the buyers is Brian Branch. And I know he didn't go in the he didn't go in the first round like everybody was not everybody, but most people were expecting him to go in the first round. But he went in the second round to Detroit. Might feel like a bad draft capital hit, but it's really not. Still has a 41% chance as finishing as a top 24 safety in his rookie year. And I feel like this is the pick that's going to really solidify this Lions defense. He's fast. He's instinctive. He can adapt to wherever they're needing him at. He's a go-to-work lunch pail. What are those metaphors that we always hear? Like a lunch pail kid. But he's just a guy that you tell him where to go, and he's going to go do it, and he's going to do it to the best of his ability. He can play slot. He can play safety. He's going to go wherever they play him at. He's going to be on the field a lot. And Branch, in my opinion, is going to finish as a top 3 rookie safety. And he has a chance to hit top 15 NFL safety in IDP in his first year. And the fact of the matter is, with that hit rate, safeties if he hits top 24 in his rookie year, you're looking at having 3 to 4 years of top 24 value out of him. And I just think that, like I said, he fits the defense. The team is on the up and up. I think that there's going to be a lot of other things that people are going to be worried about on this defense, and Branch is just going to kind of clean up some of the mess. He's going to clean up the cornerback misses. He's going to take some picks. He's going to get some nickel play and come downhill on the running backs. I think that he's going to have a great rookie season in Detroit. So that's the buyers. Those are the top 5 guys that I'm feeling great about. So let's talk about the 5 that I'm not. We're going to start with one that, I'm going to be honest, he's off my board entirely. And that's Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. He went in the 3rd round to the Baltimore Ravens. Capital's not there for me to feel better about him. I was already kind of on the fence with his play style. Going in the 3rd round, kind of just, that's it for me. And the fit to the Ravens felt forced. It felt like it was one of those guys, well, he's still on the board, so we should probably take him kind of moves. And personally, I think that he should be playing outside, and he might have to play outside for now. But he doesn't fit their pass rush kind of build either. But from what people are talking about, they've kind of drafted him to be the replacement for Patrick Queen, who they did decline his fifth-year option. But I don't think that's just going to work out in the long run. I would have liked the Ravens fit better if they got the guy that went one pick before him in the third round, and that was Washington State's Dayan Henley, who went to the Chargers. He's a guy that I actually do really like. Not one of my top 5, but he's a guy in that fit that I think will be successful. And third-round linebackers only have a 23% chance of finishing as a top 24 player in their rookie year. And if players don't break out until their second year, they don't finish in the top 24 until their second year, the chances of them having top 24 relevant seasons goes from 4 to 2 years. And that's one of the years is their breakout year. So, no thanks. I don't think it's going to happen. Just don't like the fit. Especially with me, as I said, I like Dayan Henley and Drew Sanders, who both went in the third round more. And if you have a 23% chance of hitting, I don't put my chips on Trenton Simpson being that guy. So he's off my board. I'm steering clear of him. Next guy on my list is Tyree Wilson. High draft capital, Texas Tech defensive end, went to the Raiders at draft pick number 7. The stats that I've been talking about all night have two sides. For every 4 players drafted in the top 15 at defensive end, one of them doesn't finish as a top 36 as a rookie. My money is on Wilson or Van Ness for those honors. I already talked about me liking Will McDonald. I already talked about how much I love Will Anderson. Tyree Wilson is a project player. Tyree Wilson also has Max Crosby and Chandler Jones still there. Van Ness, if we're just going to say who out of these two won't hit, he has Rashawn Gary there, but he's rehabbing from a torn ACL. And personally, you have to look that Van Ness is going to have more opportunity than Wilson will. Long term, Wilson might have more upside. He absolutely might. But once again, my data analytics side is showing, and I'm going to go with where I feel most comfortable. And Tyree Wilson just is not that guy to me. Is he going to get drafted high in your IDP rookie draft? As far as defensive players go, yeah, he will. But he won't be on my team. Number 3 on my players that I'm selling list is Drew Sanders. To me, this is just a bummer. He ends up in the third round draft capital, top tier linebacker capability. Not only does he go in the third round, but he goes to a team that they have good enough linebackers to be a problem for Drew Sanders getting on the field. Went to the Denver Broncos. I got Josie Joel, who I really like, and then Alex Singleton, who is okay, right? Like, he's not world-beating, and maybe Drew Sanders can beat him out. I hope that he can beat him out. But it's just like the dominoes just didn't fall the way that everybody thought they were for him. It makes me wonder if there's more going on behind the scenes with Drew. Maybe they didn't like that he didn't participate in some of the, combine stuff. Maybe he didn't interview well. I don't know. But when you look at the same percentages that apply to him that did to Trenton Simpson, we're talking about 23% chance that he finishes in the top 24. And if he doesn't finish in the top 24, he's not going to do it much in his career. Excuse me. Now, I still like him, and I might draft him, but he wasn't a priority as he was before. I mean, it just is a bummer. I just would have liked even if he was still third round, I would have liked a different team taking him than the Denver Broncos. Now, the number 4 player on my list is the Eagles pass rusher Nolan Smith. Hold on, Eagle fans. Hear me out. Hear me out. He's a great player. But as an edge guy, he'll need to be on the field a lot to create value and maintain solid fantasy value. And unless they're going to be putting Hassan Reddick and Nolan Smith on the field together, he'll be limited in year 1 because Hassan Reddick's there. Be somewhat limited in year 2 because Hassan Reddick's there. And maybe even in year 3 because Hassan Reddick's still under contract for that too. Are they going to put him on both sides? Maybe. Maybe there's going to be opportunities for that. But the fact of the matter is, you need him to be on the field as much as possible for fantasy value. He's going to get drafted, probably still high because he was a first-round talent, goes to a great defense. But I just think that you're going to have that kind of season when you have him on your team, that he's going to have that ability to flash a monster game, that he was on your bench, and then you put him in, and then you get goose egg the next week. And to me, nothing is more frustrating than that kind of a player. And I don't think it's going to be until year 2 or year 3 that he's going to have consistency at the position that you feel good about. Because he's got to get volume of snaps. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, the final player that I'm going to talk about, well, I cheated. I did. I cheated. It's a combination of 2 linebackers. And that's Noah Sewell and Henry To'oTo'o. Here's the facts. Both were selected in the 5th round. Both are going to crowded linebacker rooms. And both feel like Jags to me now. Just a guy. Get an opportunity to play. Could perform well. But, once again, data analytically, both have a 10% chance of ending the year in the top 24. Those aren't great odds. And with them being also two teams that have crowded linebacker rooms, I'm out. I felt that they had an opportunity to go somewhere and make an impact. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. So, too bad, so sad, not drafting you now. So that's it. That's my top 5 buys and my top 5 sells from the 2023 NFL Draft. There's a lot of people in between. We'll get more in depth with that as the offseason continues on. And we realize how these guys are going to really fit into these systems, where the depth charts are starting to shake out. And we'll just continue on this journey to your fantasy championship. Because everybody can draft offense, but defense wins fantasy. We'll see you next week.